Good morning. Today is Monday, October 21st, and this is your community briefing. I'm Buncombe County Director of Communications and Public Engagement, Lillian Govis. Today, we'll be joined by Ryan Trena, Deputy Incident Commander with the Fire Department of New York and the City of Asheville. We'll also start, as we normally do, with County Manager Avril Pender, but I do want to provide a quick update on the landfill, transportation, and transfer station and waste pro trucks. Landfill is open this week, Monday through Friday from 6 to 6, extended hours, Saturday from 7 to 3 with normal tip fees. The transfer station is open from 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. And Saturday, 8 from 1. Normal charges are back at the transfer station. No commercial vehicles are allowed at this time at the transfer station. Waste Pro trucks will be out in the community on Monday at Lester Elementary, Tuesday at the AB Tech Enka campus, Wednesday at the Owen Pool, Thursday at Ingalls Fairview, Friday at the North Buncombe Pool. Those hours are 8:30 to 3:30 for household bag trash only for those Waste Pro trucks this week, in addition to their regular service routes that they will try to run. And finally, curbside management accepts recyclable drop-offs at their location, 116 North Woodfin Avenue, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. We'll turn it over to County Manager Avril Pender.
Thanks, Lillian. Good morning. Today, several of our Buncombe County staff are returning to various county facilities to determine what locations we can open to the public beginning Wednesday. We look forward to sharing that information out with you. This is a big step forward in our plan for recovery. While we are rebuilding, don't forget that our community care stations have showers, laundry, potable water, and food, and in some cases, medical care, all available at no cost. The locations for these are A.C. Reynolds High School, At Home Store in the parking lot, Big Lots, Innsbrook Mall, Buncombe County Sports Park, Bethel United Methodist Church, A.C. Reynolds Middle School, Ingalls Wananoa, Morgan Hill Baptist Church. Food and water distributions are also continuing at Sky Lanes Bowling Alley, Black Mountain Ingalls, Fairview Elementary, Swannanoa Ingalls, Lester Elementary. That site is closing today. The Lester Elementary site is closing today at end of business today. Linwood Crump Shiloh Community Center, Pat Square Park, Buncombe County Sports Park, and A.C. Reynolds Middle School. The tongue of Black Mountain remains on the boil water notice, meaning after vigorously boiling for 1 minute, the water can be used for drinking, cooking, and more. In Weaverville, there is no longer a boil water advisory, so that water can be consumed without boiling. Today, being Monday, we have the City of Asheville here for a water update. As of this morning, 134 Duke Energy customers in Buncombe County remains without power. 85% of Spectrum customers have seen their services restored, and about 12,000 remain offline. Spectrum communicated to customers last week that they will automatically be credited for that time without service. An update on donations. The generosity we have seen from the community who have provided much needed items during a time of crisis is very uplifting. Currently, we are working on distributing the items we have received, so we are no longer receiving goods. If you're able, the best way to support is through monetary donations to organizations such as United Way of Asheville Buncombe County and the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina's Disaster Response Fund, as well as the other community partners who have joined us on these briefings. Early voting. Early voting continues this week from 9 a.m. between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. The ballot is very long, but you can view a sample at www.buncombecounty.org/vote. so you can see everything that's included. You can also check the weight map before heading out to vote. Our voting location sites include Black Mountain Library, East Asheville Library, Anchor Candler Library, Fairview Library, South Buncombe Library, West Asheville Library, the Leicester Community Center, Weaverville Community Center, Dr. Wesley Grant Southside Center, and UNCA Health and Counseling Center. Our parks. We've had several questions about reopening parks. So today we're reopening 2 parks. Following safety evaluations, North Buncombe Fields and Harmony Valley Park reopens today. All other Buncombe County parks remain closed. Thank you for your patience. We will update and give you more reopening parks as they become available. DSNAP, or Disaster Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. I want to end on this very important piece of information about recovery in our community. If you have been financially impacted by the storm, you're eligible for help buying food through the Disaster Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or DSNAP. But there is a deadline for this. That is Thursday, October 24th. Even if you did not receive SNAP benefits before, you should apply. You can do this in person at Buncombe County Health and Human Services, located at 40 Cox Avenue in Asheville, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Or you can begin the application process online by pre-registering at epass.nc.gov. That is epass, epass.nc.gov. There's a DSNAP call center you can call at 844-453-1117, 844-453-1117. We can't stress enough how important it is for you to apply. These funds will go directly to you to purchase food. And now I'll turn it over to Ryan Trainer with the Fire Department of New York.
Okay, thank you, Avril. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ryan Trainer, and I am the Deputy Incident Commander for the FDNY Incident Management Team. So let me give you a brief update to where we've been. Our team's been on the ground for the past 19 days, assisting Buncombe County in the coordination and allocation of resources following the recent storm. First and foremost, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all the emergency responders, local agencies, community members for their tireless efforts in the recovery process. As we move into the 4-week post-storm period, I'm here to provide some context regarding the planned reduction of fire and EMS resources. While it may seem concerning, I want to emphasize that this decision was not made lightly and is in part of a carefully structured demobilization plan provided by the North Carolina Office of State Fire Marshal and is based on the current situation and the progress we have made this far. There are a few key reasons why the reduction is happening now, and I want to point out 4 of these key reasons, the first being transition to local control. Over the past few weeks, local resources have been replenished, and many jurisdictions in the county still have mutual aid assistance coming in from state resources. Now, Buncombe County's fire and EMS teams are in strong position to continue handling the calls and emergencies as they do arise. The initial influx of external resources helped to stabilize the most critical needs immediately post-storm. And now the local agencies can resume their normal operations more fluidly. So I want to speak to the reduced call volume. As time has passed, the volume of emergency calls has significantly decreased. The majority of immediate threats, such as rescue missions, medical emergencies, and hazardous conditions, has been addressed. This allows us to scale back the outside assistance without compromising the safety. I want to speak to infrastructure stabilization. Thanks to the dedicated efforts of our teams, the region's infrastructure has seen notable improvements. We heard about some of them earlier from the county manager. Roadways are largely cleared, power has been restored to much of the county, and critical services are coming back online. This stabilization reduces the need for large-scale external support. I want to speak to sustainability. Keeping large numbers of external resources in place for prolonged periods can strain logistical support systems. By reducing our footprint now, we ensure that the remaining teams can operate more efficiently and sustainably, allowing us to focus specific areas that still need attention. Now, specifically, I want to talk about the resource and mutual aid update. Through strategic backfill efforts, increased water supplies, and effective management of call volumes, we have been able to reduce the overall footprint of the emergency responders needed on the ground here in Buncombe County. However, we are still relying on critical mutual aid support from the North Carolina Office of the State Fire Marshal to assist in various departments. As of this morning, I can report to you the areas that we're still receiving active mutual aid, and that includes Reynolds. We have mutual aid support through November 2nd. In the Riceville District, we're receiving 2 engines through October 31st. In Fairview, 3 engines providing backfill support through October 24th. In Swannanoa, 2 crews assisting through October 25th. And in Black Mountain, we have approximately 11 personnel backfilling through October 25th. Additionally, in the North Carolina Forest Service is providing critical assistance with 2 6,000-gallon tankers positioned near Swannanoa. Asheville has positioned 3 tankers on standby, providing a total capacity of 4,000 gallons of fire support. Now, these tankers are available to ensure reliable water supply in the event hydrants are compromised during operations. The state is actively supporting certain departments in the county, specifically because they are paid departments. In contrast, the volunteer departments are receiving support from neighboring county departments through mutual aid agreements. I want to speak to the EMS resource adjustments that we've made. While EMS resource requests were handled separately by North Carolina Office of EMS, we've identified areas where we can return some of those ambulance assets. As a result, we have demobilized our advanced life support ambulances down from 31 down to now 20 moving forward. Of these, 10 ambulances will be staffed during the daytime hours and 10 during the nighttime hours. This adjustment is due to the reduction in call volume, improved road access across the county. Now, our team will continue to monitor the situation closely, and rest assured we are continuing that. We will remain ready to respond if new challenges do arise. I want to stress that this reduction does not mean that help is disappearing. Let me stress that. Rather, we are entering a new phase of recovery where local services take the lead with our ongoing support where it is necessary. In closing, I want to thank the residents of Buncombe County for their resilience. Your collaboration with emergency personnel has been invaluable in helping us all recover together. But we do ask the community to be fire-wise, and we urge the community not to burn open fires as we do go forward. But if we do, we ask that you do it in piles no higher than 3 feet and 25 feet from any structure. Thank you.
Next, we'll turn this over to Asheville City Manager Deborah Campbell.
Thank you, Lillian. Good morning. My name, as you heard, is Deborah Campbell, and I serve as the City Manager, City of Asheville. As usual, I want to start by thanking everyone in the community for your continued support to help us recover from this devastating storm. We are on day 26 of our emergency response and recovery effort. The city continues to focus on 4 major areas: addressing the basic needs of our community with a focus on our most vulnerable populations, restoring water service, community safety and security, and debris management. Today, the Asheville update will include a few announcements from me about our water, meals, and access to other community resources, and an update on the City of Asheville reopening facilities to the public. I will also be joined by our consultant, Greg Shupin, with Elevated, who is serving in a role of deputy of our Emergency Operations Center to discuss our debris removal efforts. However, I know that everyone is interested in the update on our water resources and restoration of water services. So that will be given by Clay Chandler, and I'll turn it over to Clay now.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Campbell. Okay. Over the weekend, We reached roughly 95% system restoration. Eastmore got back online over the weekend. Same for Bee Tree. Still some leaks popping up in and around Bee Tree, but most of the people served by that line have gotten their water service back. Now, there are some pockets of Town Mountain, Webb Cove Road, those areas that have proven to be particularly problematic. 3-inch line that serves that area got washed out by a landslide after the storm. And so we've had to do a little bit of coordinating with NCDOT as far as road repair before we can restore service there. Our contractors are going to work on a temporary solution that we hope will be in place Wednesday or Thursday. That should restore service to most of the Town Mountain, Webb Cove areas that currently do not have water. We think that's between 60 and 75 homes total. And as we repressurize other parts of the system, you know, there will be issues that pop up. We had a break in the area of 12 Moons Barbecue late last week. We got a couple of breaks pop up on the western edge of our system. And so as we sort of get this thing back rolling again, there are going to be things that pop up that we will have to fix and repair and could temporarily put people back out of water. Okay, so moving to, that is yesterday at North Fork. That's the reservoir. That's the one that's had the in-reservoir treatment process that happened Wednesday and Thursday of last week. And as you can see, the surface water has not cleared up very much at all, if any. What has happened, and which is almost completely opposite of what we expected to happen, is water at the deeper portions, 40 to 50 feet, have shown fairly significant improvement as far as clearing turbidity. There's another picture, kind of shows the same thing. And so, like I said, we figured once we did this treatment process that the water in the lake would clear from the top down. The exact opposite is happening. It is starting to clear from the bottom up. And so I know everybody was curious about the curtains, and we expect those to be in town Thursday or Friday. Will be a little bit of an installation and an anchoring process to get those wrapped around or wrapped in a 500-foot circle around our intake. And we are pretty confident that by a week from today, we will be doing a second round of that in-lake treatment process. Still no timeline, or at least an accurate one that we can provide as far as when that lake will clear up and we can treat the water and push it through our filters and all of that. But we are certainly hopeful that the second round of treatment will, you know, sort of push the ball down the court as far as that reservoir clearing up. Back to the map, I want to make a couple of points. But we know this has been difficult for everybody. Like Mrs. Campbell just said, we're on day 26. Some people still don't have water back. We are grateful to our customers for their patience as we navigate the challenges of restarting a water system after the worst natural disaster in the recorded history of Western North Carolina. As I shared Friday, the water going through our system right now is not a perfect solution. And if we had our way, we would be delivering our normally pristine water to all of our customers. And we're certainly working around the clock to reach that point. My update today is very brief. I know you all will have questions after, but for now, I'm going to turn it over back to Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you, Clay. So I'm going to start just briefly with water distribution update. Although we are making tremendous progress in restoring city services, it is important to note the distribution of drinking water and meals ready to eat still remains critical. Over the weekend, we hit a milestone of getting 1 million bottles of water into the hands of our community. We continue to distribute water and meals ready to eat, MREs, through our community care stations, water distribution sites, and our focused deliveries. County Manager Avra Pendle identified these locations in her remarks, so I won't be repeating those locations. Our curfew. As I announced last week, and thanks to the around-the-clock work of city staff, our utility partners such as Duke and many local, county, state, and federal agencies that are providing support. The citywide curfew is being lifted today. City offices reopening. First, the Asheville City Council will hold their next business meeting tomorrow, October 22nd at 5 p.m. The meeting will take place at City Hall. Those wishing to join the meeting can do so in person. The building will open at 4:30 p.m. Or you can join on the city's YouTube channel or on Spectrum Channel 193. As I stated, we are trying to reopen city offices to the public, and that will happen this Wednesday, October the 23rd. This, however, does not include city recreation facilities such as recreation centers and those managed by our community and regional entertainment facilities department. For more information about city recreation centers and facilities managed by our community and regional entertainment facilities department, please visit the city's website at asheville.nc.gov. While the majority of previously scheduled programs and events are still postponed, there are 2 events that will be taking place this weekend related to our centers. And before I mention that, as I announced on Friday, over 48% or 32 parks have opened. For the most up-to-date list of open parks, please visit our website at asheville.nc.gov/parks. Mentioning the 2 items or events that are happening this weekend. The haunted parking lot on the hill trunk or treat event will take place this Saturday, October 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Stevens Lee Community Center on 30 George Washington Carver Avenue. The Boo Bash Block Party will take place Sunday, October 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Tanger Outlets on 800 Brevard Road. I'm also happy to share that the after-school program run by our Parks and Recreation Department will return from 3 to 6 p.m. Monday, October the 28th. This programming is for students who were previously enrolled in our after-school programming. For more information about these events and additional programming, please visit asheville.nc.gov/parks. Our AVL alert. We've heard a lot, and a lot of it were mostly complaints, that there has been some frustration with the daily AVL alert messages going out to Asheville water customers as we continue to bring the entire water system back online. These daily boil water notices are required by the Environmental Protection Agency as long as we are under a boil water notice. We appreciate your understanding of the necessity of these critical messages. These alerts are sent in both English and Spanish to ensure we reach as many members of our community as possible. And now another touchy subject, storm debris management. We are aware of the concern that many have expressed about the location of sites that were initially chosen to manage storm debris. I want to emphasize that the safest thing we can do for our environment, our economy, and our community is to remove storm debris from our homes and business areas as quickly and as responsibly as possible. There is and continues to be a sense of urgency about debris removal. The longer storm debris remains in our neighborhoods and business areas, the longer we are living with fire and safety hazards. We want our neighborhoods to be safe, and we want our businesses to be able to reopen as soon as possible. Last week, I shared the activation of 3 temporary storm debris management sites: Roger Farmer Park and 65 Ford Street in West Asheville, and the front 9, of the municipal golf course in East Asheville. These are sites we were able to activate quickly because they are city-owned properties, and I'm sure they will not be the only ones that will be activated. Since last week, we have secured an additional site at Inca Commerce Park in West Asheville. The Inca Commerce Park site will now be the main site where storm debris will be taken to be staged, grinded, compacted, and prepared for hauling out of the city. No additional debris will be taken to 65 4th Street, and none will be taken to the municipal golf course site while we continue to look for and secure additional sites. However, security and site prep measures such as fencing and access for heavy machinery will continue on the front line of the municipal golf course and at the 65 4th Street site, so they are ready to be reactivated if needed. I am stressing only if needed. While it was originally permitted, Roger Former Park in West Asheville will not be used as a debris site. Our debris removal strategy will continue to be dynamic, and we will keep pivoting when possible as we are able to secure additional sites. We want to have as few impacts on neighborhoods and business areas as possible. We will continue to diligently monitor the temporary sites to ensure environmental regulations are met, and safety, I repeat, and safety will remain at the forefront of every decision we make. We also remain committed to outreach and information sharing with residential and business neighborhoods proximate to any of the temporary sites. Now I'd like to introduce our consultant serving in the role as Deputy Emergency Operations Center Manager, there's a lot, Greg Shuping, to share more information about actually what happens at these temporary sites. Greg.
Good morning, and thanks, Ms. Campbell, for that. I wanted to start with just giving us a sense of the enormity of the debris that we're talking about primarily here in the city of Asheville. Our contractor, which is Southern Disaster Recovery, which is the same contractor that the county is using for debris removal, has estimated the debris in cubic yards just inside the city of Asheville to be 2.5 million cubic yards. What does 2.5 million cubic yards mean to us? What does that mean? Well, that looks like 40 yards per truck. If you think of a truck carrying the debris to be processed, 40 cubic yards is all they can carry. So some quick math would indicate that that could be in excess of 70,000 truckloads of debris that has to be taken to be processed at a site to be then removed and taken outside of the city and the county, ultimately, which is what we're looking for. As I said, Southern Disaster Recovery is our contractor to do that, but in accordance with federal regulations, we also are using a company named Debris Tech to serve as our monitoring and environmental compliance oversight to our prime contractor. The goal is to get this debris to a permanent location away from our county and city as quickly and safely as possible. So what really happens at these sites, and how many trucks does it take, and how quickly can we get this debris cleaned up? If you can imagine one truckload of debris entering a